I still remember the Christmas of 1958. It's a year that's etched in my memory, not just because of the monster blizzard that swept in and buried our town in snow, but because of the gifts. The gifts we had back then were different. They were simple things, honest things. They were the kind of presents that kids today would probably just stare at, confused. But to us, they were absolute magic. Before that storm rolled over our little town, every single store window was glowing with Christmas displays. And if you grew up in the 1950s, you can probably picture it perfectly. The tinsel was shining and sparkling under the bright lights. Cardboard snowflakes were taped carefully to the glass, and the toys were lined up like treasures from another world, just waiting for us. So, let me take you back. Let me show you some of the gifts you'd only see in 1958, the ones we prayed and hoped Santa would bring, the ones we dreamed about in the weeks leading up to that one special morning. First up, the classic Lionel train set. I mean, every kid wanted one of these. It was the gold standard. A heavy, sturdy, metal train that smelled just a little bit like warm electric wires when it ran. You'd set up that circular track around the base of the Christmas tree, and on Christmas morning, watching that little engine light up for the very first time, where it felt like you owned the whole world. The chugging sound, the little puff of smoke, it was mesmerizing. You could spend hours just watching it go around and around, imagining all the places it was going. Next, something truly a product of its time, the aluminum Christmas tree in its color wheel. This was the peak of futuristic 1950s design. It was shiny, it was strange, and honestly, it was kind of beautiful. Families would set up that silvery, almost space-age tree in the corner of the living room. Then you'd plug in the rotating color wheel. It would project these shifting circles of blue, red, and green light across the room, turning the tinsel into a shimmering rainbow. Even today, I can still hear the soft, gentle hum of that wheel turning, and I can still see the wonder it painted on the walls and on our faces. Of course, you can't talk about the 50s without mentioning Cowboys. For any boy growing up on a steady diet of Western shows on our black and white TV, the ultimate dream was a set of cowboy cap guns and a leather holster. Getting that gift meant you were instantly the toughest kid on the block. You'd strap that holster on, run around the yard shouting "draw" at your friends, and feel like a real hero. And that sound, the caps snapping like tiny sharp fireworks, followed by that distinct smoky smell filling the air. That was the smell of childhood freedom. And for many girls, their own gateway to creativity came in a small, warm box. The original Easy Bake Oven. Now, think about this today. A tiny toy oven powered by a single hot light bulb. It sounds a little crazy now, doesn't it? But back then, it felt like real grown-up cooking. It was a serious business. You'd mix the little packet of batter, pour it into the tiny pan, and slide it into the oven. And when you pulled out that first slightly burned, lopsided little cake, and your mum pretended it tasted absolutely wonderful, that was a moment of pure pride. It was your first taste of making something all by yourself. Then there was the music. Music in the 50s wasn't just background noise you streamed from the cloud. It was something tangible, something you held in your hands. On Christmas morning, you might be lucky enough to unwrap a brand new portable record player, maybe in a cool color like turquoise or red, and with it, a few 45 RPM singles. Maybe it was Elvis, maybe Buddy Holly, maybe the Everly Brothers. You'd carefully place that little black disc on the turntable, lower the needle, and hear that first crackle before the music started. And you'd play it over, and over, and over again, until you knew every word, and the grooves started to wear thin. We were also just starting to capture our own memories. A popular gift was a flash camera, like the Kodak Brownie. For the first time, families could easily document Christmas morning. Of course, easily is a relative term. You had to pop in a new flashbulb for every single picture. And when you took a photo, you'd hear that loud pop. It was like a small explosion of light that momentarily blinded everyone in the room. But in that flash, a moment was frozen in time forever. You'd have to wait weeks to get the film developed. But seeing those blurry, overexposed pictures of your family was priceless. And you can't forget the modern appliances of the 1950s. These were big-ticket items. Toasters with shiny chrome finishes that looked like the front of a Cadillac. Blenders that roared to life and sounded like a jet engine taking off in your kitchen. And vacuum cleaners that were advertised with exciting phrases like space-age technology and atomic power. Moms absolutely loved them. Dads would stand there and nod, pretending they completely understood how this newfangled gadget worked. It was all part of the optimistic, forward-looking spirit of the era. Back then, gifts weren't about screens or instant entertainment. They were physical, they were memorable, and they were built to last. They sparked imagination and encouraged you to play outside or create something with your own hands. But the thing I remember most about that year, more than any toy or gadget, is this. 2 days before Christmas, the blizzard hit. It came in fast and hard. The stores all closed up, the roads completely disappeared under a thick blanket of white, and suddenly, all those gifts we were dreaming of, they didn't seem to matter quite as much. Because when the world outside turned completely white and silent, when we were all snowed in together, we realized the real gifts had been there all along. It was family. It was the warmth of the fireplace. It was the simple, profound joy of just being together, safe and sound. Christmas 1958 wasn't just about what was under the tree. It was about the laughter, the stories, and the quiet moments shared while the storm raged outside. It was about the memories we made, the ones we still carry with us today. Thanks for taking this little trip back in time with me. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe for more stories.